It was a regular Sunday, nothing out of the ordinary. Coffee steaming in our mugs, quiet music humming from her phone, the soft scent of freshly washed laundry in the air. We were folding clothes together, the kind of calm domestic moment that usually feels comforting. That's when she said it, just like she was mentioning the weather. Sometimes I think I should have ended up with Daniel instead. I didn't catch it right away. I actually waited for her to laugh, maybe flash that half smile that told me she was teasing. But she didn't. She kept folding a towel, eyes down, tone casual, like she was just thinking out loud. I looked at her, stunned. "What did you say?" She didn't flinch. She met my gaze and said, "I just think maybe things would have been easier." Daniel made me feel seen. He always had ambition. He never settled like this. Her hand moved, gesturing around us. Our home, our life, our quiet little world we built with effort, sacrifice, and time. I didn't say anything, just stared as something inside my chest tightened, coiled so hard it hurt. I walked away, went downstairs. I told myself I was overreacting, that I misheard or misunderstood. But she didn't follow me. She never came to clear it up, never said it came out wrong. Nothing. That night, I stayed on the couch. Not because she asked me to, but because the space between us suddenly felt too wide to ignore. I lay there thinking about Daniel, wondering how often she'd measured me against him without saying a word. Daniel was the guy from her college years. The golden boy with a charming grin and big promises that never lasted. He vanished after graduation, left her without warning for a job overseas. She cried in my arms back then, devastated. And yet, years later, in the middle of folding laundry, she tells me she might have chosen him if given the chance. After that day, something in me shifted. I stopped talking as much, stayed longer at work. Sometimes I'd sit in the driveway with the engine running, needing a few extra minutes to put on the mask before walking through the door. She noticed, of course, asked me if something was wrong. I'd shrug, say everything was fine, but it wasn't. I was pulling away piece by piece, not with shouting or arguments, but by sealing myself off. I stopped opening up. I stopped sharing the small details of my life. I didn't laugh as much, and neither did she. Eventually, even our dinners became quiet, mechanical routines. We looked like strangers eating at the same table. I couldn't stop picturing Daniel, this ghost from a decade ago, suddenly looming large between us. I felt smaller next to him, even though he wasn't there. Then came the night she came home late. Hours past dinner, no message, no heads up. I waited. When she finally walked in around 10 o'clock, she looked unsettled, nervous, said she met an old friend for drinks. She didn't name him. She didn't need to. Was it him? I asked. She nodded. I didn't say anything more, just quietly packed a small bag. Not because I was angry, but because I had nothing left to give. I told her, maybe you need to figure out what you really want. She looked like she wanted to reply, but I stopped her. I'm not angry, I said. I'm just tired. And I left. No fight, no scene, just silence. I stayed with a friend for a while before finding a temporary place. She called a few times, sent one message trying to explain, said she didn't mean it how it sounded. I didn't answer, and in the quiet that followed, something surprising happened. I felt lighter. Lonely, yes, but free. I started waking up early again, going for runs, cooking my own food. I started remembering who I was before I molded myself to fit into someone else's life. I saw clearly how much I had compromised, how long I had been trying to be enough for someone who always kept one eye on the horizon, wondering what else might be out there. Months passed. I filed for separation. No bitterness, no drama, just space. Then one day, unexpectedly, she came to my door. She looked different, tired, like someone who had spent time thinking. She said she saw him again. Daniel. She said they didn't even speak, just passed each other, and that he hadn't changed. Still smooth, still chasing shiny dreams he could never quite catch. Then she looked at me, eyes full of tears, and said, I was wrong. I thought I wanted adventure. I wanted to feel wanted. But what we had was real. You showed up. You stayed. And I broke that. I believed her. I really did. But sometimes realization arrives too late. Because when someone finally understands your worth, You've already learned how to live without needing their validation. I didn't hate her. Couldn't. But I wasn't the man who stood in that kitchen months ago, wounded and waiting. I had changed. I didn't want to return to the version of me who kept trying to earn someone's love. So I told her, I'm glad you understand now, but I'm not coming back. She sank to her knees at the doorstep, sobbing. I didn't shut the door in anger. I closed it with a strange calm, almost gently. For the first time, I wasn't clinging. I was choosing peace, for the version of myself who had finally stopped begging to be seen.